Oh, you know what? I've been feeling really lethargic this year, so I figured for my New Year's resolution, I would stop drinking.
But Jack, this is a cocktail show. How are you supposed to do a cocktail show if you can't drink?
I did not think that one through. You know what I could do? The thing about turn of the century, right? 2000. I can try to use that to figure out a new one. I can try to get in touch with my inner child. As a child, I wasn't lethargic. Maybe if I just act more childlike, I won't be so lethargic. Right? And then I can drink. Because, like, kids basically are just drunk adults. That's essentially what they are, right?
Yeah?
Sounds good enough to me. Let's make the turn of the century, guys. Hello, and welcome to another edition of Sipulations, the cocktail show where we build a cocktail based on stipulations that you, the audience, give us. Today, we're building a cocktail called Turn of the Century, which is in reference to all the new boys and girls that turned 21 because they were born in 2000. So, we're gonna have a bunch of new people able to drink, and yes, that makes everybody feel very old. One of the things I've found out about this generation is that they no longer grit their teeth and they don't earn their stripes in alcohol on the crappy booze like we used to. Like I'm some kind of old person now, but they're not buying their Busch Light, they're not buying their Natty Ice, they're not buying their Hams, their old styles. Their first introduction to alcohol usually comes in the form of a flavored seltzer, like White Claw, your Bud Light seltzers, Trulies. They like that stuff, and honestly, I've drinking it, and I understand why you'd want to go drink that stuff first. Tastes a lot better, which is kind of why we built this cocktail. So it kind of tastes a little bit like a kind of light, but extremely alcoholic, because you're 21 now, and we have a couple of stipulations for this drink. The stipulations are that it has to have 3 different types of boozes in it, hard alcohol. It also has to have Grenadine in it. Common theme of this show. And it has to have something kind of like a soda, a Sprite, or a seltzer, something of that nature. And that was it. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add a little bit of our Mike's Hot Honey. This stuff is really spicy, we found out. And you have to put it in first. We're also gonna wow, that's a lot of it. That's a lot more than I did. We're just gonna try it. All right, now the second thing we're gonna add in is our vodka. We're gonna do 1 ounce of vodka. This is distilled spirit number 1. Oh, right, and it also had to be pink. That was another stipulation, it had to be pink. I could probably just add that in now. Right, and the second one is our tequila. That is distilled spirit number 2. My fingers are so cold, the bottom's freezing. And this is our leftover from our Gail Rogers. This is the matcha infused gin. Doesn't need to be infused gin. That's just the only gin we had. We were trying to find clear liquors because we need to get this pink. And if you put something that has color to it, that's an oak aged or caramel coloring to it, it's really hard to get any type of. And we're just gonna put 1 ounce of that in. So that's a 3-ounce drink, pretty heavy. We're also gonna put a 1/2 ounce of Pimm's in there because we had Pimm's left over. And it has a really nice kind of, what do we described it as kind of like a flat Coke flavor. So it's kind of sweet. Probably the people at Pimm's are probably rolling over. They're like, what the hell, he just flat Coke. Coke should be worried about that. Should sue him. Then we have our cranberry juice. We're gonna put 2 ounces of cranberry juice in there. Kind of like your Long Island's, essentially. As you can see, with all the clear liquor we have in there, really does change that color quite quickly. And then we're gonna put a 1/2 ounce of our Grenadine in there. Just gonna stir it up, make sure that the honey incorporates. Honey doesn't like to incorporate, as you can see right here, so just gonna have to stir it a little bit. This drink was also given to us by one of our more avid watchers, Olivia, and she is also one of the people that is now turning 21. She wasn't allowed to drink any of the drinks that she had named prior to this, so there you go. Most of the honey's still in the spoon. And then we're going to top this off with our Lemon Seltzer. And you have your turn of the century. Wow. The spicy honey actually does a lot for this. Really kind of complex it a little more. We put a little bit more than we did in the last one, and I think it's a lot better right now. It's like spicy, but sweet, and then it's refreshing. And you definitely don't know that there's 3 ounces of alcohol in here. That's pretty good. Frank, do you want to come and try it? Ooh! Oh. Usually come on the other. What, you didn't pay the guy?
Pay what guy?
I don't know how you... I don't know how you teleport. Doesn't the spice add something?
It really does.
The spice
This is like a combination of I was gonna say a Tom Collins. I don't even know what a Tom Collins is.
Tom Collins, I think, is this seltzer and then lemon.
No, it's a combination of a Long Island and a little bit of like a Bloody Mary kick to it too, because it's got that heat. It doesn't taste like Bloody Mary at all, no tomatoes or anything, but it's got a little bit of a kick like that. But it's pretty good. I think that's perfect. So when we were making these earlier and we had 2 of them, I mean, it was quite significant, the level of intoxication we get from it. So yeah, if you have one of these, that is well beyond the legal amount, Olivia.
So this is the turn of the century. It is good. It's kind of sweet, spicy, light, hard to drink, easy to drink, hard alcohol in there. It's pretty good. I like it. Anyway, we're gonna change up how we do some of the polls here. So poll number 1 is gonna go up on Saturday. That's where you get to vote for which cocktail name we make. And then on Sunday and Monday, we're gonna have stipulation polls where you can vote on what the stipulations are. That way, it makes it a little more difficult for me to make the cocktail, but it also makes it a lot more fun because you're more engaged, right? So, I'm not gonna lie. I binge watched the whole Queen's Gambit in one day. And while there was a lot of chess in there was also a lot of drinking. And so that's why one of this week's cocktails is called the Queen's Gambit versus our runner-up from the last poll, Hindsight, it's 2020. Those 2 are gonna go up in our poll on Saturday, and you decide who wins. See you next week, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want more great content, we have plenty of it. Season 2 of In Conversation is starting this Monday with Larry Long Jr. as we talk about college athletes and building their personal brand through the college system. And we have more cocktails coming your way. So please comment, vote, subscribe, LinkedIn, something. Thank you guys.